I'm Greg. I'm the field technician here at Montana State University in Bozeman, and today I figured I'd just give you a little run through of how the breeding program operates from start to finish in order to release a new variety. The process begins by choosing what crosses we want to make. Here you can see our cold room storage where we have thousands of unique barley varieties. Most of this comes from here in Bozeman, but we also have some material shipped from other breeding programs across the world. Our plant breeder, Jamie Sherman, selects from among these varieties, choosing lines that have desirable traits that we want to work with. They're often successful release varieties, but they can also just be our own experimental lines that we like but never quite made it to release. The chosen lines are then grown in our greenhouse to form what's called a crossing block. When the plants just begin to flower, the crossing can begin. So first, anthers are trimmed off the flowers in some heads, which prevents self-pollination, and these flowers will be the female parents. Pollen-filled flowers from another plant, and the male parent, are then introduced and agitated to induce pollination. The result is a head where each seed is actually a completely unique combination of its two parents' genes. These offspring are then grown for 3 successive generations in the greenhouse, and from here on out, the barley plants only ever self-pollinate, ensuring that no new genes will be introduced to this line. The 4th generation, or F4 stage, is the first time that our lines get planted out in the field, and this is also when we start to see the emergence of true breeding plants, which basically just means that the grain a line puts off will always have the same set of alleles as its parent plant does. Jamie works through these F4 plants over the course of the growing season. She weeds out the poorly performing individuals, looking for traits such as heading date, height, the fullness of the leaves, and the amount of tillering, among many other things. Now, for a frame of reference, in any given year we average about 1,500 up to maybe 2,000 F5s. The process essentially repeats the following year, and both times the number of lines is whittled down by hundreds upon hundreds. So this is the 6th generation, or F6 stage, and this is the first time that we plant our lines in a full plot in a controlled setting. And this is also the first time that we take a full suite of agronomic data on the line, so we're going to get things like yield, grain fill period, grain plumpness, take malting quality, all of that. And so usually these are about 250 lines big. We call this our preliminary yield trial. Then we're going to select down from here just to about 50 lines, plant it again the next year in our early yield trial. And then again, we'll select down to maybe 10 or maybe a dozen lines of just the best of the best. Those make it onto our intrastate trial. And from there, we send it around the state. We grow it in multiple locations at all of our agricultural research centers. And then from there, we pick just, maybe one line a year that comes out as above the rest, and we prepare that line for release.
It takes 14 location years of data for us to be able to release a variety. We also need data from diverse environments so we know that the barley will do well across the state. This is possible because of the support of the Montana Ag Experiment Station, which has research centers distributed across the state. The faculty at these research centers provide us with data that empowers our varietal selection and helps us to release good lines. Starting in eastern Montana, the Eastern Ag Research Center faculty, Chensi Chen, does varietal testing on food, malt, and forage. Also at EARC, Frankie Crutcher does seed screening for us. At Northern Ag Research Center, Peggy Lamb tests forage, food, and malt varieties. She's also been supporting a student on an abiotic stress project. The Western Triangle Research Center is soon to have a new superintendent, Justin Vetch, who we look forward to working with. Northwestern Ag Research Center, faculty member Jessica Torian and a new member, Clint Berryman, are focusing on forage research. The Western Ag Research Center, Zach Miller, has been running our off-station nursery. Central Ag Research Center, Pat Carr, has been testing our forage lines. Also at Central Ag Research Center, Jed Eberly tests malt, food, and has been integral to the development of our winter barley program. Southern Ag Research Center, Ken Caphart, focuses on malt lines. He's been helping us by testing early generation material. He also has been supporting a malt project that's a graduate student project. Kent McVeigh, also at SARC, has been doing a fertility trial with us. Finally, the Post Farm, run by Dave Gettle and Jeff Todd, provide us with local data in Bozeman, and we are able to test early generation material there for all aspects of the Barley Breeding Program. We appreciate the support of all of the people and value their efforts and know that it enables us to create great lines for the growers of Montana.
And that about wraps it up. All in all, the process will take between 5 and 10 years from the initial cross to release. There's minor variations in the process, depending on the end purpose of the line, whether it's meant for food, animal feed, haying forage, or beer and fermentation. But the end goal is essentially always the same. Creative innovation in the crossing block, followed by years upon years of rigorous testing.